How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Investing with Zeke. So, hope you're having a good weekend. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I decided to wear green myself. Don't be drinking and driving, doing anything crazy like that. I unfortunately haven't had a drink all weekend. The only thing I've been drinking is coffee. Why? Because it's been crazy. I've been looking at stocks to buy this coming up week, and we had insane news come out about the MJ space on Friday night. Such insane news that it actually ran Aurora up over 30%. My favorite, Telray, ran up, I believe, 16%. I'm up. The MJ space in general, it has moved up about 12%, and there's a reason for that. I mean, the way they have it now, the MJ space is classified as an extremely hard substance. So if you own an MJ company, which I explained this in my other video that I had when I first started purchasing Telray, which I have actually been buying it for the last couple of years. But I knew this time would come. I knew that it would come near an election time. And I kind of knew it would especially come around this election time. And the reason why it's going crazy, because if you run a company in the MJ space, you can't write off anything in the federal tax bracket. Like, you just got to eat it all your losses, everything. So it's really hard for companies to make money in this space. So if they're barely breaking even or profitable, you're really onto something, so that's why I've been just kind of I've been waiting for news like this to come out. Now, has news kind of came out like this before? Yes. Like the declassification, I mean, they've been talking about it. This administration has been talking about it for years, like all the way up before, he was even elected. He's been saying they want to do, get away from the MJ space being classified so harshly, and they're pardoning people that have MJ offenses. So that's where this meeting came about, and that's why we're having this meeting about this. And Kamala made some strong points, and I don't think a lot of people have actually got to see this. So actually, probably 2 million people got to see this. But I just wanted to show you guys the reason why the excitement is happening around this stock, and I'm going to talk around the MJ sector, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Telray, but let's get off into what Kamala has actually said to get the ball rolling. Let's see.
4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession. And the disparity is even larger when you talk about the subset of Black men and Latino men. So this is an issue that must be addressed. It is work that, again, I've done over the years. It is work that we are also doing as an administration. First, I will tell you that we have pardoned tens of thousands of people with federal convictions for simple marijuana possession. And today we are joined by some of the pardon recipients so that we can have a conversation about what this has meant for them as a model and inspiration for what we must do for many others who are not at this table. And their stories, I will tell you, are proof of the importance of pardons and what it means in the life of an individual in terms of allowing them a second chance and an ability to re-enter their community in a productive way. Second, we have issued a call to action for states to pardon these types of offenses, in particular on possession. That is why I've asked the governor of Kentucky to be here, Governor Beshear, who has basically pardoned and has addressed the convictions of people in Kentucky with simple marijuana possession convictions, and they can now apply for pardons. So he's going to talk with us about that as a model for what other states can and should do, and I challenge other states to follow his lead. Third, we have directed the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Justice to reassess how marijuana is classified under the federal drug schedule. And I cannot emphasize enough that they need to get to it as quickly as possible. And we need to have a resolution based on their findings and their assessment But this issue is stark when one considers the fact that on the schedule currently, marijuana is considered as dangerous as heroin. Marijuana is considered as dangerous as heroin and more dangerous than fentanyl, which is absurd, not to mention patently unfair. So I'm sure DA is working as quickly as possible and will continue to do so, and we look forward to the product of their work. And with that, I will conclude by saying that the work that we have achieved thus far is important, but there still is much more to do. And I thank the participants who are at this table. And Governor, again, I want to thank you for your leadership, and Fat Joe for moderating our discussion today. And with that, I thank the press. Have a good afternoon.
Good. Yeah. So we got Fat Joe there, so that's good. Okay, Kamala, why don't you just do it? Like, what are you guys waiting for? Like, it's close enough to the election. Just stop it. I mean, you obviously know that this is ridiculous, but yet you just continue on. That's what we're doing. Like, how about stop sitting at the table and write a couple emails? Do you not know Biden's number? Is that you're the vice president, right? Like, whatever. I don't know what's taken them so long to do it. And yes, they have made these promises before. However, is this time different? Well, if it's not, I don't really care. Why? Because of this guy right here. Who is this guy? This is the CEO of Telray, and he has 30 years of experience. He worked for Afria, which is also in the MJ space. He also was part of Barnes & Noble, which is kind of crazy because when he was with Barnes & Noble, if you look back here, right now we're sitting at 62 cents. I mean, it was at all-time highs when he was there, and then he left, and, you know, he's just... I haven't found anything bad about him. It looks like we're going to be hitting profitability, you know, at least on a GAAP basis. So I'm okay with, you know, with what I hold. And if it does tank because they lie to us, which is definitely, I'm not surprised about. You know, as you can see, we're up 8% over the weekend. So yes, we're down 94% in total. And yes, it looks like we flatlined and we're about to die. I definitely don't like the way this looks, right? But there's a big reason for that. It's all with tax related. This is the leader, especially in the healthcare sector, when it comes to the MJ healthcare. This is it. I mean, they just legalized it, I believe, in Europe. So it's coming down the chain. And, you know, I'm happy to be part of it. I could see, I've always said I believe Telray could be $150 to $200 billion market cap. And right now we're sitting at what's our market cap? It's like not even $2 billion. So that's why I own this stock. And you know, yeah, I think I actually covered everything. I just wanted to actually give you an update on why the space has just been going crazy, and if you haven't had an opportunity to see it. But I mean, if you're in any of the MJ sectors, you're doing great, and you'll probably have a phenomenal week, because the problem, the big thing with this is the MJ sector is one of the most shorted sectors in the whole market. So you haven't seen a squeeze until you see potentially what kind of squeeze that could happen. So I believe we have Telray's earnings coming up in a couple of weeks. I'll be covering it. I did Telray's earnings, I believe, just a few months ago. So if you're into that, if you're interested in maybe, you know, starting a position, I've done a little bit of due diligence and, you know, maybe look around, check out some balance sheets on your own for sure. But this sector, I believed, was going to be the leader of the bull market. I mean, it has turned out that NVIDIA is. By the way, NVIDIA is having like NVIDIA AI Day tomorrow on Monday. So, you know, it could be buy the or sell the news, buy the rumor. We're about to find out what AI is really going to be capable of. But for right now, all eyes are really on the MJ sector, and that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. So like and subscribe. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.